So I've got a big onion, I've got a green pepper because I don't like green peppers, but they're okay when they're cooked for a long time. I've got a couple of mushrooms just to add in. I've got a garlic clove, I've got lamb shank that I'm actually defrosting. I've got some whole grain mustard, which is half a tin per tablespoon. I've got some mint sauce, which is also half a tin per tablespoon. I've got some tomato puree, which is free and is a super speed food. I've got quite a lot of peas and sweet corn, and I'm also going to serve it with sweet potato mash. Obviously I've got my basics like fry light, and I've got like herbs and spices, which I will show you as I go along. I haven't decided what I'm going to put in it yet, but I will keep you updated. I've used the whole of the garlic clove just because I like garlic. I've cut the onions chunky, the pepper's big. I've left some of the mushrooms whole, and then some of them are still quite big. And then this is the sugar snap peas, and I've just cut them in half. And I will start it cooking now. I've got a stock cube, which is just chicken. I've got a passata and just a tin of tomatoes as well. Wise, I've got garlic, which is garlic powder. I've got some oregano. I've got some mixed herbs. It's in my jar. I've not got a lot left, so I need to get some more. I've also got some basil, and I've got some coriander leaves. That's my herbs. I'll tell you now before I forget the measurements. 2 tablespoons of mixed herbs, 1 tablespoon of oregano, 1 tablespoon of basil, and 1 tablespoon of coriander. There's a tablespoon of mustard and a tablespoon of mint sauce and a tablespoon of garlic powder. So this is 1 tin for the mustard and the garlic powder, and then a lime, because I always add a lime at the end just because I like it, I guess. So I've just put a pan on the heat. I'm just letting it heat up. I've sprayed it with fry light already. And I'm going to add the onions and peppers first into the pan. And I'm going to add my mushrooms. And the garlic. Obviously, if you're not a massive fan of garlic, or don't want as much as I do, cut it smaller, or just don't add a whole clove. I just really like garlic a lot. Well, we like garlic a lot. I like the taste of it, so that's why I always add so much garlic into everything. I'm just going to stir it. I'm going to let the pot thingy, just to get it a bit of colour before I add the rest of the ingredients. I didn't see that. So I'm just going to keep stirring. I just never ever can get fat off lamb shanks very well. And I didn't buy this one, my mum brought this and gave it to me. So I didn't really have a choice. So if you do get a lamb shank and you take the fat off, obviously I personally would still sin it, because I've never had, even though when I've gone I've asked for a lamb shank that's like not very fatty, I've still found fat on it. So I normally would sin it anyway, but that's just me personally. Obviously it's up to you how you work out your sins, but I'll basically, for the rest of the day, I won't have any sins today, and I'll probably have less sins tomorrow to make up for it. Okay, so there's a tiny bit of colour on that, as you can see. I'll come back when I'm ready to add the rest of the ingredients. So that's got as much colour as I want, and now I'm going to add the mustard and the mint sauce and garlic into there. Just mix it around, just because I like to do it like this, I guess. Everyone does it differently. Obviously, if you don't like garlic again, don't add the garlic powder because it will taste it very garlicky. So I just let that do a bit, and then I add the tomato puree because I like to cook my tomato puree off a bit. So I'm probably adding about 2 tablespoons. I just guess, add as much as you want. Like I say, everyone's got different tastes. This is how I like to do it. So I'm mixing. That's red, baby. Yeah, it's red, isn't it? You've got to colour in red. So, as you can see, I hope you can see. I'll move you closer for a second. It's sort of all saucy. Saucy. I found a bit dirty that. And I'm just still waiting for the kettle to boil because I want to add the stock before I add the passata. Get my jug out. Oh, is that how big the green is? No. So I've just put my stock cube in my jug and I'm going to fill that up in a minute. So I'm just going to add the stock in. I've done 500 ml of stock. It's chicken stock, but obviously lamb stock would be a lot better to use. I just don't have any and I haven't gone to the shop lately. So I'm just going to stir that around and let it cook like that for a little bit. So I've let it bubble a little bit. I'm going to add my whole can of tinned tomatoes because it's going to cook for a while in the oven. So I want a lot of liquid in the dish. I'm just going to mix that up as you do. And I'm going to add half of my mixed herbs, and I'm only adding half now because I always find that when I'm cooking with herbs and stuff, yeah, you do your nails, the taste of herbs sort of dull down. So I add half now and then I'll add the rest a bit later on when maybe just before I'm serving or like towards the end of the dish, because it looks like a lot of herbs, but literally I always find the taste fades, and that's a sad thing. So as you can see, it's really dark and it's really runny at the moment. It gets a lot thicker in the oven. I'm going to add some of my passata. I'm not going to add all. I'm just going to add about half of the passata. Okay. And I'm just going to mix that round so it's all combined. And again, I'm going to turn the heat up so it starts bubbling. There you go. It's all over the oven, as you can tell. So it's just really thick, really dark, reddy brown at the moment. Obviously, the flavour of the lamb cooks into the sauce as well. I'm just going to season it with a bit of salt and quite a bit of pepper, because again, I like pepper. So now it's started bubbling, I'm going to turn it down. and I'm going to have it on here for about half an hour before I put it into the oven, because I always do it that way. Oh, wow. Normally I add carrots and stuff like that, but I don't actually have any. I have sweet potato. The light has just gone really dark because it's raining even more, so I've just got to use the flash. I've simmered it for half an hour on the top, and I've just put it in the oven for 20 minutes, but I completely forgot to say. So I've just put a lid on it and just put it in the oven. It's been in the oven now for about an hour and a half-ish. I've just added, I haven't added it all, but I've added some of the sweet corn and some of the peas just to cook. Go on then. And then, as you can see, the lamb's cooking. I'll just aside nicely. And I'm just going to give it a quick stir to get any bits that are stuck down on, like, off the side sort of thing. But as you can see, it's really thick and it's sort of going really yummy. So I'm just going to put this back in the oven for another hour. I keep stirring it every like half an hour just to get bits off the side, but it's not ready yet. It's not. There's a lot of sauce, so I definitely don't need to add the rest of the passata, which I thought I was going to have to add. I haven't added any of the sugar snap peas, and there are still, like I say, there's still some sweet corn and peas left that I'm going to add towards the end so they're fresher, and I haven't added the rest of the herbs yet. So I'll come back when I'm going to add the rest of it. I'm just going to top up my sweet potato and get that ready to be sort of done, because this will be ready in about 45 minutes to an hour. So it's been in, yeah. This is the lamb shanks done. I cooked it all together for 3 hours. For the last 20-30 minutes, before the last 20-30 minutes, I added in the rest of the peas, sweet corn and sugar snap peas. Obviously the lamb shank is there, and I'm just going to take a bit off it for Riley to go on his plate, because I served his out so it has time to cool down. And then obviously I'm making sweet potato mash, that's there. And still, my mixed herbs, I need to clean that up. But yeah, this is it. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll put a clip at the end of it on my plate. Thanks, bye! This is it finished on my plate. There's my sweet potato mash, and there's obviously the lamb shank, and there's lots of stewy veggies underneath. This is Riley's. Obviously he doesn't have any bone, his is just a bit of the lamb shank. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!